All right, let's see what today's subject is. Well, today's subject is writing. Very, very nice. I love to write. Love to read, but love to write. Love to create stories and share those with people that I know and people that I don't know. Once I discovered what words were, and one of my favorite things when we would be going on road trips or something would be to, I don't know why it was, if I saw a billboard, I would try to count the letters in sections of 3 to see if it came out perfectly, like, there was 12 letters or 27 letters or whatever. It was just weird, but I loved words and I loved reading stories and I loved telling stories, and I've always been a daydreamer as well as a night dreamer, and I just like to take those stories and put them on paper or write them up on the computer and share them with people. I wrote a few stories when I was in high school that actually won some awards and were printed in anthologies and stuff like that. I never went into journalism though. I didn't do the newspaper. I probably should have. It might have been a fun thing to do at that time, but it wasn't something that I was interested in full time. After high school, one day my best friend comes over and she's like, I got to tell you about this dream that I had. At that time, we were really big into watching the show called Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer, which was a 1950s detective novel that Mickey Spillane had wrote probably more in the 40s and 50s, I think. And it was turned into a TV show, and we loved watching that show and the characters in it. And so she came over and she's like, I had this dream where you and I were private detectives and we were working with Mike Hammer and the police captain that was also a major part of the series. And she started telling me about, what we were doing in this dream. And it was pretty detailed, and and I got excited about it. I'm like, whoa, we should write this down. So we ended up getting notebooks, and we decided to write it. She wrote out everything that she had in this dream, so kind of a summarize of the whole dream. And then we decided to write it from both her character and my character's point of view, and we used our names and stuff. And we got notebooks, and we got copy paper. I think that was what it was called. So it was these really thin, light sheets of paper that on one side had black ink and then the other side was plain. And you'd stick it between 2 pieces of paper with the black side down. And when you wrote on it, on the top, it would create an impression on the paper behind. Carbon paper, that's what it was called, carbon paper. So we'd take carbon paper so that we each have a copy. So the parts that I wrote, I'd keep my original and she would take the copy, and the parts that she wrote, she would keep the original and I would take the copy. And we were obsessed. We wrote this by hand. I don't know even how long it took us, but every time, all the time we were together, we were always together. We went to school together, we hung out at the sheriff's office together, we hung out together. We would go to a couple of different restaurants and drink coffee and sit there and just write. And I think we ended up writing like 386 pages or somewhere in that ballpark, almost 400 pages. We thought it was pretty good. And then we wrote a sequel, and same thing, just kept writing, and we just hand wrote, ended up handwriting 13 manuscripts for the series that we called The Main Street Investigators. And I don't know what happened. We both ended up losing our copies over the years. I still have some notes on different stories and would love to revisit that. But beyond that, then I just kind of randomly would write different things. I wrote some Star Trek stuff, and I didn't know what fan fiction was yet. It wasn't until my mom passed away in 1999 that I was looking for some sort of mental outlet to, forget reality for a while and get away from, everything that was going on. And I discovered fan fiction online and really fell into it and started writing some stuff. And over the years, I still do it, not as much anymore, but I write Criminal Minds fan fiction and Star Trek, a lot of police procedural type stuff. And I have it online and people read it, and I have about, the last count was like 50,000 followers, which is pretty darn good. But that's my emotional outlet, where I can write whatever I want over there and deal with maybe some things that are happening with me personally and be able to desensitize from that. I ended up going to college with the intention of becoming an English teacher and teaching overseas. And then I took a script writing class and realized that no, what I really wanted to do was make movies. So I ended up transferring to a film school, which we've talked about, Columbia College Hollywood. And I got my degree in film with an emphasis in script writing. And it was during my script writing, during one class I was kind of struggling. I was working on a pilot for a TV series. It was a fantasy series based off of Rapunzel, a story after the end of Rapunzel. And I was struggling with it. And then one day I realized, hey, I can do whatever I want to. I can create these characters and these animals and whatever I want in these stories, because I don't have to make them come to life. If something ever happens with this series, somebody else has got to deal with that. So it really kind of freed me up to reach out or expand my own personal writing horizons. And I went crazy on it. It's very dark. It's a very Game of Thrones type of feel, but also has the fantasy element with kind of like a Disney movie, but not soft like a Disney movie. I think you understand. I worked on that, and I wrote that. I've written a few other different types of stuff, lots of comedies, some dramedies, some romance, science fiction. I'm working on a Star Trek novel that I would love to see published someday. And yeah, I just keep writing. I just keep doing stuff. I love writing haikus as well, so poetry and things like that. So yeah, writing is my thing. I absolutely love doing it. So thanks for watching. And if you like this video and you like the other stuff that I've been putting out, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks. Have a great day.